Why don't we ask him? He's here. U.S. Senator-elect David Perdue. How does that sound, Mr. Perdue?
Well, I'm still getting used to it, Brian. It's been a big night, but the last 18 months has been very gratifying. You know, we started a year and a half ago with a simple message that we felt like the country was in a crisis, was headed in the wrong direction, and the people of Georgia responded to that. That message is still resonating right now, and I think that's the message that came out of the election results last night in Georgia.
We know that Saxby Chambliss, your predecessor, soon-to-be predecessor, needed a runoff. It often happens in Georgia. You need that threshold. But, David, in the end, do you believe this was won in the last week? Do you believe the polls were off? Did people change their mind? What happened?
No, our pollster, Chris Perkins, had pegged all along. Now, we lost a little traction midway in the general election, to be candid, but we got up on TV again, got our message going, and once that message kept resonating out there, people responded to it, and we could feel that. We just finished a 10-day tour around the state from Hayhire to Hiawassee, and we just heard this response coming back to us overwhelmingly. So that's really what I think turned the tide here.
Your reaction to the flyers that went out from, I understand, the Democratic Party of Georgia that had warning the black community, if you allow basically David Perdue to become our senator, that we can visit we could have a Ferguson in our streets. You think that was over the line?
Well, I do. I said that publicly. It's disappointing, but it's what we've come to expect in politics, and we've got to change that. We've disenfranchised a lot of people who have become cynical about the process. And what I told everybody last night, I congratulated my opponent, Michelle Nunn. She ran a tough race. I congratulated her supporters, and I asked them to help us because we all want to see America change direction for the people of Georgia and for the people of our country.
So
I just asked them to join us.
And obviously they did. So you are a businessman. Your family knows politics. You're new to this, and you used a lot of your own money in this campaign. So what can you bring to Washington? Because a lot of business guys and businesswomen get kind of frustrated in Washington.
Well, you know, I had that conversation with Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin a year and a half ago, and he was in Georgia 2 weeks ago, and we had continued that dialogue. You know, I hope to bring a fresh perspective from a working person's point of view. Some of these unintended consequences that come out of some of these regulations and some of these laws really put our businesses at competitive disadvantages with the rest of the world. And that's what I hope to bring to the Senate. And, you know, things like the corporate tax rate, repatriation tax, overregulation, and finally we want to get this energy resource unlocked here in the United States.
And what quick do you hope to be on? What committees?
Well, I've talked to Senator, a couple of senators up there. I'd love to be on the Agriculture Committee and also the Armed Services Committee, because both of those are very important committees to the state of Georgia.
All right. Congratulations. I know it's a big day for you and your family after a lot of hard work. David Perdue, the U.S. Senate-elect from Georgia, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Okay.